Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Caverns studio. Welcome to the show. So, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan Precons are, well, depending on when you're watching this episode, are nearly here or they are already here. And yes, now on this episode, I'm going to be taking you through which one you should be picking up if you're picking it up based solely on the price valuation of the cards in it, which some people do. Now, if you want to pick it up based on, what deck you want to play, great, that's also a way to do it. But on this episode, I'm going to talk about which is the most valuable of all the precons. So with all that said, let's jump into it. So let's start things off at fourth place when it comes to overall price. At $84.72 estimated on Moxfield, we've got Explorers of the Deep. Branching Evolution is going to be the main card when it comes to value at $6.66. So as you're going to see with this one, there are a couple cards that are worth value, but nothing that's really popping at you with oh yeah, $10+ value. That being said, Branching Evolution, a very in-demand card. If one or more +1 counters will be put on a creature control, twice that many put on that creature instead, and enchantment for 3 mana. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of decks out there that love +1/+1 counters. There's a lot of +1/+1 counter builds, proliferate builds, etc., etc. So yeah, a very, very, very good card. Next up, a new card, Ripples of Potential, currently around $6 right now. Instant for 1 and a blue. Proliferate, then choose any number of permanents you control that a counterpart on this way. Those permanents phase out, so this is a great way to essentially get more counters on each of your creatures that have counters on them, or I guess any permanent, so it could be charge counters too, any other kinds of counters. On top of that, phasing out is going to protect those things too, so yeah, 2 mana for a lot of value there, and phasing out is a really good way to protect from board wipes, also a good way to protect things while also keeping auras, equipment on, counters on, etc., etc. Next up, we've got, that name, the Smiling Flood. We're just going to skip the name. 6/6 Salamander Serpent for 4 green and a blue. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you get a flood counter on target land. The land is an island of other types, as long as there's a flood counter on it. At the beginning of your end step, untap each permanent you control, they counter on it. Yeah, this is obviously a good card in the 99. It also could be the commander. It also could just be a really good commander off on its own, essentially, in a separate deck. Yeah, utilizing flood counters, making them an island in addition to other types. I see what you're doing, Wizards. You didn't want to make it just, like the old flood counters, or I think they're flood counters, essentially, where it's like, oh yeah, no, it's just an island, and then it becomes basically a Blood Moon type deck. Regardless, this is currently $5.34. So, as you're seeing with some of these top cards, we start off with a, older card, not older, but a card that is a reprint, and then we've got some of the newer cards that are kind of holding up some of the value. So depending on kind of how you want to go again with the, the deck that you purchased, just make sure you keep that in mind. Moving on, Thastic God of the Sea, an older card as well, around $5 right now. 5/5 God that's indestructible for 3 mana, Devotion. If it's less than 5, it's not a creature. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1, and also pay 1, and a blue target creature can be blocked this turn. So some nice additional value every single turn. And on top of that, yeah, a pretty heavy hitter itself, and one that can make things unblockable. Finally, let's go through one more card, Kindred Discovery. Right around $5 as well. Enchantment for 5 mana, enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Whenever a creature you control the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, ridiculous, draw a card. So yeah, an absurd amount of card advantage to be had with this. And yes, tribal decks out there are incredibly popular. This can basically fit in any deck that is tribal that has blue. So yes, there's definitely a demand for it. That being said, its price used to be a lot higher because it started to get reprinted more recently. Thank goodness to knock its price down to where you see it now. Again, overall, this, Simic deck essentially is the lowest of the price valuations at $84.72. So yeah, make sure you just keep that in mind. Next up at number 3, ahoy, mateys! Okay, I'm not going to do that the entire time. That would just be annoying, number 1. Number 2, my throat would be killing me. So first up, yeah, this is kind of where you see the opposite side of things. Black Market Connections. $19 on its own. That is really carrying a lot of this price again. This is the third place finish in price valuation, $86.58. Estimated cost according to Moxfield, but yeah, Black Market Connections makes up a good portion of that. And enchantment for 3 mana, beginning of your pre-comp main phase, choose 1 or more. You get a treasure token, you lose 1 life. You draw a card, you lose 2 life. You make a 3/2 shapeshifter, you lose 3 life. I mean, basically, the most decks out there, I would say, are taking those first two every single time. Be like, yeah, okay, I'll take a treasure and also a card, and I lose 3 life. Cool. I mean, there are also decks out there that care about the Shapeshifter as well, but, I mean, I guess this deck does, but still. The most important things typically are, again, card advantage as well as temporary mana advantage. Very, very, very powerful card. Yeah, this just splashed onto the scene right away when it was spoiled, and yeah, it's a very, very good card. So yeah, this reprint is definitely bringing a good amount of value here. Next up, Time Stream Navigator. You see that little dip right there from, $19 down to $6. Regardless, still around the top of the other one that we talked about. A 1/1 Human Pirate Wizard with Ascend for 1 and a blue. Pay 4 mana, tap. Put it on the bottom of its owner's library. You get an extra turn for this one. Activate only the City's Blessing. City's Blessing is so easy to get in Commander. And yes, this is just like, hey, yeah, you get 1 extra turn, and you're probably not going to see this card again. Except there are certain combos that work with this one essentially to get it back again and again and again, or to ensure that you can get like clones of it or whatnot. Yeah, there are quite a few ways to go infinite with this too. I doubt any of them are actually in this deck, but still, if you want to adjust your deck, or utilize this in another deck to make sure you can do that, yeah, I mean, definitely a very cool card. Moving on, finally reprinted Wizards. My goodness, Pitiless Plunderer. When I started this channel, this thing was like 12 cents. $4.55 right now. I think it was up to like $12 or so, but with this reprint, again, this is an uncommon. Doesn't really matter if it's an uncommon, if it's pre-printed in a Commander product, though, obviously, because it's reprinted the same amount as a Mythic Rare in this, obviously. A 1/4 Human Pirate for 4 mana. Whenever another creature controlled dies, create a treasure token. This, I think, was before Wizards really understood exactly how powerful giving treasure tokens was, and yeah. Again, this has, like, no limitations. It's not like once a turn. It's not like, hey, non-token creatures. No, it's just every single creature's, yeah, you get treasures. Oh, they can play untapped as well. You can utilize that mana right away. Absolutely absurd. There's so many decks out there that absolutely love this. Obviously, treasure strategies, sacrifice strategies, aristocrat strategies, pirate strategies. Yeah, a very, very, very good card. And again, only an uncommon, but yeah, still around $5 right now. Moving on. The Indomitable. I love that name. 6/6, Ledger Artifact Vehicle will trample for 4 mana. Whenever a creature control deals combat to a player, draw a card, crew 3. And you may cast it from your graveyard as long as you control 3 or more tap pirates and or vehicles. So this one, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can keep getting it back again and again and again. You can keep drawing cards with it. It's decently low to the ground for its power. Again, 4 mana for a 6/6 trample. You do have to crew it, but still, you want to get back from your graveyard again and again and again. It is Indomitable. It's pretty cool. Yeah, $4 right now. Again, a new card. I guess this is our first new card out of these cards that actually is showing up when it comes to this deck, when it comes to actually, being up in price. So most of the new cards in this deck didn't really make that big of a splash. But let's see in our last card that we're going to talk about. Herald's Horde. Another card that, again, has been absurdly priced at certain times, is lower at other times. It gets reprinted more and more these days with tribal decks. An artifact for 3 mana. Enters the battlefield as a creature type. Creature spells the chosen type costs 1 less to cast. On top of that, beginning of your upkeep, look at top card live. It's a creature chosen type. You basically get it for free. So this provides you not only potential card advantage in a tribal deck, but also cost reduction, which is massive. Yeah, again, when they're like, yeah, this is an uncommon, it's like, really? Really? No. Yeah, and so it does not have an uncommon price tag. Again, around $4 right now. Again, I believe this one used to be around 10 at some point. Regardless, overall, as you're seeing, most of the money in this deck is in black market connections, and then after that, it kind of falls off. And yeah, most of the new cards aren't really bringing that much value. Not that much value, I shouldn't say, but as much value as other precons. Regardless, $86 is the right amount, essentially, for third place. But now let's move on to second place with, okay, I love this name. I absolutely love the name Veloci-Ramp-tor. That probably was brought up in the meeting as a joke to start and being like, hey, it'd be fun if we called this deck Veloci-Ramp-tor. And they're like, that's a good idea. Print it. Good job, Johnson. You're promoted. That's how it worked. Anyways, $91.85, second place. Instant for 3 and a white. Akroma's Will. Choose one. If you control your commander, you get both. Creatures you control gain flying, vigilance, double strike until end of turn. Creatures you control gain lifelink and destructive effect for all colors until end of turn. Basically, most of the time, you're probably getting both of these for 4 mana. That's absurd. That is a game-ending spell. And yeah, pretty absurd. Being like, yeah, my creatures just do all the things. Go swing and take everyone out. Yay! Yeah, Akroma's Will is a very, very, very good card. Moving on. Apex Altasaur. $6.18. So again, it seems like Wizards probably tried to really hit things home with trying to get like most of the prices around the same. We'll see what happens in the number 1 slot, obviously, but it seems like most of the prices that, like the higher end cards in each of these decks are around $6. Apex Altasaur 10/10 Dinosaur for 9 mana in total, but you are in green, you can get there, right? Veloci-ramp-tor, haha. Enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you control. In Rage, whenever it's dealt combat damage, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Basically, this is a green board wipe in a way. It's a way to take out a lot of creatures. Also, if you give it indestructible, maybe with like a Chrome as well, you can just take out all of your opponent's creatures as long as they've got toughness less than, 11, essentially. So yeah, a very, very, very good card. Obviously, great in dinosaur decks, great in enraged decks. Just a really good card overall. Great kind of in any like mono green deck that's like, hey, I need a board wipe. Moving on, Xenagos, God of Rebels. Around $5 right now. $6, $6. $6.5. There we go. Legendary creature God with indestructible for 5 mana. As long as your devotion red and green is less than 7, it's not a creature. At the beginning of combat on your turn, no target creature control gets haste and +X while turn exits power. Hey, Apex Altasaur, do you want to become a 2020? Sure! Yeah, you're going to have a lot of giant creatures in a deck like this. You'll be able to pump them. That's great. Obviously, it works really well in, God Tribal. This works very well in Dinosaur Tribal or any kind of a tribal deck that has a giant amount of creatures or just, giant creature tribal deck, essentially, overall. So, yeah, a very good card. $5 currently. Moving on. Pantlaza, Sun favorite, I like to say Lazy Pants. A 4/4 dinosaur for 5 mana. Whenever another dinosaur in his battlefield under your control, you may discover X, where X is that creature's toughness. Do this only once each turn. So, this is the first time that we've seen a commander actually pop up, or I should say the commander for the set, the face commander for the Precon, actually being in these top 5 cards. Yeah, around $5 right now. Probably because, well, obviously it is a pretty sought after commander because it's pretty cool. Again, dinosaurs. Many players out there love Dinosaur Tribal. And also, kind of with that, too, hey, yeah, I also can utilize this as a commander of another dinosaur deck, just a dinosaur deck that I'm making outside of this. And, I'll put this in the 99 of that deck. And all of a sudden, yeah, my Gishath deck is even better because I've got a dinosaur that's pretty absurd to help me discover and just get a lot of free value. So, yes, this card, again, good in the 99, good as a commander, a very cool card, and one that you can do some pretty janky things with as well. If you really wanted to go super jank, you definitely go with a Discover, type Cascade kind of deck. And then finally, Chandra's Ignition. I remember this thing used to be budget too. Source for 5 mana. This one's around $4 to $5. Target creature control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. This is basically a kind of, no, I wouldn't say a one-sided board wipe. It depends on your situation. Obviously, if your creature's indestructible, it's already one-sided, obviously. But being able to say, hey, Apex Altasaur, you're a 10/10. Cool. Deal 10 damage to everything, including my opponent's faces. Lovely. Being able to take out all the creatures, great. Yeah, it would take out your own, but obviously, if you've got enraged things, you can benefit from that. Or again, if you've got creatures potentially that have more toughness, again, if maybe you choose a different creature that maybe has 6 power, and you're like, okay, yeah, you deal damage to all the creatures, and you've got some dinosaurs out there like Apex Altasaur that can survive that, great. Again, so it's a board wipe that can be pretty flexible. It's one that also punishes your opponents pretty good, and it's got some pretty cool applications to it as well with like Infect and other things too. That being said, yeah, around $4 or so. So again, you can kind of see the drop off. Again, we started off around $11 for a card. Then again, a good amount around $6 or $5. So it seems like Wizards is really starting to hone in on, okay, what kind of value are we including in these precons? Whereas sometimes in the past, it was maybe a little more haphazard in some precons and some had a lot more value. That being said, $91 is enough for second place right now. Let's move on to first place, though, to see where we end up. So now at first place, we've got, I was about to say Exquisite Blood. Blood Rights, there we go, has blood in the title. Exquisite Blood is an enchantment for 5 mana. When your opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Yeah, this card is $24.55 for a reason. My goodness, yeah, this is like over a fourth of the actual price of the deck. Because again, $93.03 is the winning number when it comes to the price valuation. And yeah, this is a lot of that price. This card is absurdly good in Commander because, again, hey, you've got 3 opponents. Whenever they lose life for any reason, you just gain life. Oh, and by the way, this combos with a tuna salad, essentially. This combos with everything. This has so many different combinations. It's absurd. Obviously, Sanguine Bond is a simple one, but there's a lot of other ones out there. They're like, oh, yeah, I also combo with that. Oh, so I combo with that. Oh, I combo with that. We're just basically like, oh, I win. You could just throw, like, 10 cards in this deck that just combo with this and be like, okay, now it's a combo deck, and I guess a couple tutors to go get this. Regardless, an absurdly good card, one that really hasn't been very budget friendly ever since I can remember, and yeah, definitely a lot of value in that. Moving on to something that's probably a lot less expensive. Oh yeah, there we go. Charismatic Conqueror. This one still's around $10 though, $9.27. 2/2 Vampire Soldier Vigilance for 2 mana. Whenever artifact or creature enters the battlefield untapped under opponent's control, they may tap that permanent. If they don't, you create a 1/1 vampire with lifelink. So low to the ground, vigilant, nice, but also a way to kind of like, not stacks an opponent, but like give them an option. Like, hey, do you want to give me vampires? Because if you do, I'll take them. But if not, your thing's coming to play tapped, essentially. So again, it counts artifacts, it counts creatures, and it doesn't specify non-token. So again, treasures, which matter if they come into play tapped, then obviously creatures for blocking. But yeah, both of which, hey, you're either having come into play tapped or you're giving me a bunch of vampires. Moving on, Elenda the Dusk Rose, a 1/1 vampire knight with lifelink for 4 mana. Whenever the creature dies, put a counter on Elenda. Whenever Elenda dies, you get X 1/1 vampire creature with lifelink for X Elenda's power. Yeah, Elenda is a pretty popular commander in and of itself. You know, vampire, tribal, or just aristocrat style commander, and also very good in, yes, aristocrat style too. Being able to essentially build up an absurd amount of counters on Elenda is quite fun, and then say, hey, pop, all of a sudden gone, and I get a massive army. Then I'll probably, like, you know, feign death Elenda, or, you know, reanimate Elenda, get back out, and then just do it again, and again, and again. Yeah, $4.73 right there. That's probably about right for what Elenda is. Moving on. Master of Dark Rites. A 1/1 vampire cleric for a single black mana. Tap second of the creature. Add black, spell to cast vampire cleric and or demon spells. So that's pretty sweet. And a card that, hey, yeah, basically a repeatable dark ritual for those types of decks. Again, only for vampire cleric and or demon spells, or I guess technically if you've got a changeling deck, yeah, that will work for it as well. But yeah, a low-to-ground mana dork that can give you a lot of value. Yeah, around $5 right now. We shall see where this really ends up, though. And then finally, Carmen Cruel, Sky Marcher, a 2/2 vampire soldier with flying for 5 mana. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, you get a counter on this, you gain 1 life. Whenever Carmen attacks, throw to 1 target permanent card with mana value less equal to Carmen's power from your graveyard to the battlefield. Yeah, again, this does not say non-token permanent, and because of that, this counts everything, including one of the things that may be a little questionably problematic in the format, treasures. And so because of that, yeah, this can be quite effective. This is just getting all the sacrificey things, including when you force players to sacrifice, getting all that value, getting all those counters on this, gaining a bunch of life, and then all of a sudden saying, hey, I'll attack and get back any permanent, essentially any permanent from my graveyard, because it's probably going to have a lot of power. So pretty cool. Again, right now, $4.41. Again, in total, $93.03, mostly driven by Exquisite Blood. My goodness, again, $24. So yeah, it seems like a lot of the price in these decks. I mean, you've got some cards again that are 4, 5, and 6. And again, if you've got a deck that has one of those cards that really stands out at a high price point, or 2 of them, essentially, you'll kind of be up a little higher. So again, $93.03. Congratulations. I almost said Exquisite Blood again. Blood rights on your first place finish. But now this episode is coming to a close, it's time for me to hear from you. So in the comments below, let me know which of these precons you're most excited about. Again, are you going based on value, or is there a certain card that you want in one of these precons, or you're just excited about one of the decks? So yeah, let me know which of these you're going to be picking up. And of course, as always, thanks again, and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.